Welcome back to Tales Untold. I'm Erica.
And I'm Wyatt.
And we are doing a special for the drones that have been happening in New Jersey.
Yes, and now they have been spotted in Maryland, Massachusetts, Cape Cod.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to do this special. It's been a while since we've convened. um, yeah, it's really weird.
It's very interesting.
I I honestly I can't believe it a little bit. Like these aren't. At first, I'm scrolling through my X account, and it's just I'm like, oh yeah, people seeing lights in the sky. This has happened before. Like, cool, okay. And I'm not the kind of person to watch videos that are on social media. Like I'd say probably one out of every 100 I actually click on to watch. Even if people send them to me, I'm really terrible about watching them. You have watched the videos of them, right?
Some of them, yes. They're a little freaky, but, because we don't know what they entirely are. Drones half the size of cars,
I know. And there's so many of them.
and nobody sees them in the day?
Yeah, the reports say that they come out around sunset and then they disappear by sunrise.
Where do they go?
Exactly. Like these can't be just your average,
Drone.
drone like that someone would open on Christmas. Like they're
Yeah.
they're
Also,
enormous.
they are. Why does nobody know what they are and where they're coming from?
I don't know. Like they're
This entire thing is vague and a little suspicious.
it's definitely very empty.
Yeah.
There's probably thousands of videos at this point on the
Hmm.
internet for these things. And actually, I discovered that there was actually a video from a year ago about
Of the
of
drones?
these drones in New Jersey that somebody posted about it a year ago. So this isn't even that new. It's just the abundance of them at this point.
Yeah.
So I actually saw that recently they shut down an airport in New York for an hour.
Like, why did they have to shut it down?
Well, because they're in the airspace. So if
Oh,
and they can't communicate with them. So there's something in the air that the airplanes that are trying to take off could potentially hit and then crash and create a bigger problem. So they couldn't take off for an hour.
unidentified flying objects.
Right? Unidentified aerial phenomena.
I thought it was phenomena.
I don't know. It's
It's
pretty
a
much the
weird
same
name.
word. um,
So, like, what would happen if an airplane actually hit one of these? Because they're like the size of a car.
I'm sure it would be like a bus hitting a car on the road, but it's now in the air.
So I feel like that might take a toll on the airplane's flying.
Abilities.
Yeah.
Correct. So it also depends on where it would hit it. Like
Mm,
if it just grazed the bottom, they might be able to make a safe crash landing, emergency landing. But if that thing hits a wing,
it's
it's toast.
or like if it gets in the jet thing.
Yeah. So if it hits the nose and affects the pilot's ability
Mm.
to
Also, what would have happened? Like, I'm sure they prepare for plenty of fuel in an airplane, but what would have happened if it was more than an hour and they ran out of fuel in the air?
yeah, exactly. They would have to make an emergency landing somewhere. But that's also that planes weren't able to take off either.
Hmm.
So it's affecting the people on the ground. So
And in the air, if there were any planes.
yeah, I don't, it didn't say anything about planes being unable to land,
Hmm.
but they do plan for more fuel than they need in case that happens. But I just, I am baffled by the lack of government response.
Yeah.
Like
And
they're
why they're not trying to do something more. Unless they
I
are.
was gonna say we'll come back to that because I'm very irritated about the response on that one. So there are government officials like senators and governors and mayors and stuff. They're trying to get the actual government and the military to step up and do something.
Yeah.
But they're also saying that there are no laws that allow you to interact with a drone to get it out of the sky. So there there are laws preventing you from um, affecting the flight of anything in the air. So this law was originally made when we only had airplanes, helicopters, those sorts of things. But
Mm.
now that we have so many drones, and like, what are they doing? What are these drones for? But I can't, I'm baffled that there's a law that's keeping our government from doing something about these drones.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
I feel like they should just be able to take them down.
right, because I mean, at this point, we don't really know if they have malicious intent because they haven't harmed anyone. They haven't, at least not
Yet.
right, not that we know of either.
Oh,
Like, who
that
knows?
too.
They could be um, abducting people, and we have no idea. These things are the size of a car. They could easily hold a few people. You
Okay,
know?
I know we keep saying that they're the size of cars, but like flying, like I'm picturing a flying car. Where were these going?
Yeah. Where are they being stored
Like
during the day?
that's
Like you're telling
what's
me, yeah,
confusing.
you're telling me that nobody in the government is okay, sure, we can't shoot them down because of our laws. Sure. Okay. We'll live in happy land where that's a thing we're gonna follow. So sure, we can't shoot them down, but we can follow them. So you're telling me that our government doesn't have our own drones where we can follow this thing at sunrise and figure out where at least one of them is landing
Or all of
for the
them?
day? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they can't all be going to separate places.
No.
This isn't something you can just put in your backyard, cover it with a tarp,
Well,
and just what?
one did crash in a backyard,
mm,
and I believe you told me about this.
right. Yeah, and it got swarmed by the police,
Yeah.
and it was a whole fiasco. And it's like, imagine the damage. Like
Like,
that family is lucky it didn't land on their house. They imagine a sedan coming out of the sky and landing on your house. Your house is total. Your house is gone. You're you would pray that you weren't in it.
yeah.
Like that's insane. So I think it was there's a Steve Rogers. He's a retired U.S. naval officer, and he is saying that we absolutely have the technology to take these things out of the sky.
Steve Rogers, Captain
Yes,
America.
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I knew that name sounded familiar. Um, no, it was not him. It was not Captain America, but I'm sure he ended up with that nickname. Um, no, he was saying that we absolutely have the technology to shoot these things out of the sky.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's so strange that we're just simply not. I don't think somebody should grab their own personal shotgun and try to shoot these things out of the sky because A, they are huge, huge,
Huge.
huge. So if this thing comes crash landing, you have no control over where this
Not
lands.
at all. And we were talking about this last night, and I was like, why has nobody tried to do that? And then I literally got a video of
Of
someone.
somebody shooting it down. So
Yeah.
where did it land?
I have no
Did you
idea.
see? Did you
No.
like not even not like specifically where did it land, but like did it land in a parking lot? Did it land in a field? Because this is over city, right? This
Yeah.
is this is like a highly populated area. It's not like out where we live
Mm.
where it has a really good chance of landing in a field
Yeah.
instead of on somebody's house or like in a river or something. Um so that's extremely dangerous. You don't want to shoot it down. And then
But I understand why people want to know what it is,
oh,
because it
absolutely.
seems like nobody's doing anything and they're just letting them.
Do what they want. Like it I don't know.
We don't know their purpose. We don't know if they're malicious or not, and that's
No.
scary.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just so people are also saying that this is some sort of military um
Drill training.
training or experiment.
Hmm.
Okay, if this is the case,
Why haven't they said that?
Yes, but I also find it rather stupid because this is all over social media. So you're telling me that they are doing a top secret drill to test something, but the whole world knows?
Hmm.
It's all over social media that these things are in the sky. It's so everyone around the world has the potential to know this.
Yeah. That's
That sounds stupid to me. So if this is supposed to be some sort of top secret drill, no, sure, we probably don't know the actual ulterior motive. However, if it's going to be going up against someone on the
Mhm.
other side of the planet, they're going to look at this and know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Durr. I
I've also heard people throw around the name Project Bluebeam. I tried looking it up, no idea what it is.
no,
It's very vague on the internet.
I have also heard of that too, and I am all for government secrets that are for things that will protect us.
Hmm.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's
Like,
fine.
yes, like if you're going to keep secret agents, if you're going to do these things and there's going to be drills that for things that we don't know about that are going to ultimately protect us,
Yeah.
absolutely. I don't want to know. La 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 la. I don't want to know. Sure. But these are affecting the American people at this point.
Yeah.
Like they are scaring people and the government's just going, wow. They're shrugging their shoulders like, yeah, it's fine. Just a couple lights in the sky. Sure. And it's it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. None of
So
it is adding up. There's something.
right. And it seems to be spreading.
It does.
So
Like, it started in New Jersey, or New York, Maryland, Massachusetts, Cape Cod. Those are just places that I know of.
right. And so yes, I'm sure there are people that are looking up, they're seeing an airplane or a helicopter
And like,
and
oh my god.
they're thinking that that's what it is. Yes, that happens. Absolutely. Because sometimes I look up at the sky and I see something blinking and I'm driving my car, right?
Hmm.
So it looks like it's stagnant in the air. It looks like it's sitting still until I stop and then I realize that we're just moving in sync. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's just a helicopter. We're good. Like there's no aliens up there. But we have talked about like actually seeing weird things in the sky.
Yeah.
So they are there. There are weird things. And like I said, I'm all for the military doing things that we don't know about that will protect us. Sure. But when people are asking this many people, like these are states.
Yeah.
These are senators and mayors that are looking for answers. It's not just American people. Like these are the
It's
people
like,
that are supposed to be running the country that are asking questions.
which is not good.
Like, hold up. What?
Also, I've heard that they're like coming up from the ocean. I don't know how true that is. I haven't seen a video. People have been saying, multiple people, that the origin point is from the ocean. And people have been connecting. Back in October, there was some sort of meeting, and this official or whatever said that there was UAP activity located in our oceans.
Mm-hmm. I think in this instance, the unidentified aerial phenomena is definitely a more accurate
Yeah,
word.
I wouldn't say like UFO, because
I
I know
think
that's associated with alien.
right, and I think that's kind of why they're trying to get away from saying the UFO
Hmm.
is because everybody associates it with aliens.
Yeah,
With the UAP, it's just
unidentified
correct
flying aerial thing.
flying object, but it's literally something. It could be Earth made. It's something that
Yeah.
something new that somebody else made. Because at this point, we have the technology to do these things.
Yes.
So we just don't know its origin. That doesn't mean that it came from space. Now, I don't think that this is aliens.
No.
Honestly, I think I would rather it was at this point
Yeah.
because that means that they're friendly to a degree.
Yeah.
Where they're curious about us, where they're sending things down to be like, oh, what are these people up to? Like, are we? Are we going to be in danger if we come and say hello? Or, like there's a curious being.
Yeah, I would rather it be aliens than what it is now because we don't know what it is. And
Right.
that's the scariest part.
Right. And I don't think that it would be aliens. I think that they would be a lot smarter about what they're doing
Yeah.
if it was, because they made it from outer space. And then they're going to put drones that size in just a particular spot in the world. Like,
That's
they would be all over the place. And then there wouldn't be such a huge collection of them.
mm,
You know what I mean? Because they're trying to gain intelligence of a really large population. So they're going to be all over the place. They would be more scattered rather than just, 100 of them across 4 states.
mm,
Like, that's a small surface area of such a huge planet. That doesn't make any sense for it to be aliens.
no.
I know people want it to be so they could say, "Ha, I told you it's aliens."
Or so it can calm people down to a degree.
Maybe, but
I feel like if it was said to be aliens, I feel like it'd be like, okay, like
yeah, I'm like, okay, well, where are they? What do they want? Like, at least at that point, we would have the different questions.
can I have one as a pet?
Well, if they made their way across the universe, I don't think that would be.
No.
But I mean, I think a lot of what people are fearing out of this is that it could turn into a war.
Absolutely.
Like, that's my fear, is that this is someone with malicious intent.
And it's going to lead to
a World War III. And
I don't want that.
no,
I don't think anybody wants that.
no, and I also don't know what military drill would require something like this. Like, what do they gain? They're completely visible. You're gonna put this over anybody's sky, and they're gonna go, "Huh, what's that thing?" Like, it's not invisible. It's not stealthy.
No,
So that doesn't make any sense.
not at all.
And there's no way that this could be a singular civilian person
Mm-mm.
just flying a drone because they thought it was cool. Like,
They're too big for that.
exactly.
I don't think people can buy a drone that big. Maybe they could make one, but there's so many. It's like,
Now this is going to be funny. You might find this funny. So there is a person that is a civilian that is capable of doing something like this.
really.
Now this is my fun theory. I wholeheartedly believe that Elon Musk is certainly capable of doing something like this.
He's got the money for sure.
Absolutely. And he has people at his disposal that could certainly build these sorts of machines. Because I don't think you could commercially purchase something like this.
No.
Now, I would like to believe that this is something that is there to point out holes in our system.
Mm.
Because, like we talked about, there are laws that are preventing even the military from simply just removing these things from the sky.
Which is crazy.
I mean, I get it, because we have all sorts of weird laws that are totally obsolete at this point. Like women can't walk on the left side of the sidewalk and like stupid stuff.
Yeah.
We have stupid laws still that nobody follows because it's just like
Stupid.
it's obsolete. It was made hundreds of years ago, and it doesn't fit with our society now. I would like to believe that that is the innocent plot behind this.
Hopefully.
Right. Whether it's him or not, I don't. I don't know if I actually believe something like that. It was just it was a thought that I had. That he's certainly capable, and I just recently started my own X account, so he's very in the front of my mind because he's about one of the few people I actually see on my feed.
Well, he does own X.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's there, and then he's constantly saying, and I've seen it from other people where X is the only place where I see the real news and I see it first, and all of these things. And
it's because it's unfiltered.
right. Well,
Most of it. I've seen people die on
Oh yeah,
X.
absolutely. Like you can, yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's less restrictions than say YouTube or the actual news you would see on the TV.
Mm,
Um, for those reasons, but it's I don't know. I don't think it's classified testing.
no.
I
I feel
no.
like it would be more classified if it was.
Right, like we wouldn't know.
Mm,
Or I mean, we do have social media now where things can just like blow up,
mm.
where something will become magically popular and then everybody knows. But again, is that maybe the point? I don't know. Like it it doesn't make sense to me. Um,
So this is the one of the videos that I saw of like a beam coming out of the water. This was a week ago. I don't know what that is. Or maybe it's coming out of the sky into the water.
I do kind of wish they had filmed where it was coming from and not where it was going.
Yeah.
Because you can see something, like right at the beginning. You can see it's coming from something. See?
Yeah.
There's like something there, maybe a ship or something. I mean, anyone could easily have a ridiculous flashlight and shoot it into the sky and it's going to show up. But
Especially around here. Like that would
yeah.
around this time.
Mm. Yeah, and it's dark for so long. So they're saying that these things come out at sunset. So that's what, 4:30? 4:30 when people are coming home from work. So people are going to see these.
And there's also this video. Maryland. I don't know what those are. They don't look like the drones that we've been seeing. They look like mini flying saucers and there's
They
three
look
in a
like they're
row.
taking pictures. See the way that they're flashing?
Out of what and why?
Mm. That blue light looks a lot like the light that you just showed me on the ocean.
Does.
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
connect those.
I don't
It's
know if that's a real video. That looks really
I mean, it could be
cons-
and it couldn't be.
well, considering how blurry the rest of these videos have been. That was a very clear picture of what these were, and they were all very close together, and they were very different from the other drones that we've seen.
Yeah.
So these other drones have like the four
I actually haven't
propellers, if you will.
seen like clear like I'm looking at the drones and it was just not
No,
like this.
yeah,
Space
they look
shuttles
like the
almost.
Star Wars spaceships. There, like
The X-wings.
yeah, that's what they look like.
They do actually kind of look like an X-wing. Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it looks like. That's funny. Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
definitely wild.
Yes. So who could this be? Like, I did not write down who said it, but there was, I think maybe it was a senator saying that um, these have to be operated on lithium batteries. So that means that they're not coming from across the ocean. That means that they are being operated by someone that is nearby,
I guess that's good news
perhaps.
that it's not from like a foreign country because that could potentially be bad.
To me, that doesn't mean that they're not from a foreign country. Because who's to say that this foreign country or didn't send people over here capable of doing these things and
That's very true.
then they're operating them from nearby. So that doesn't rule out that they're from another country to me. That that doesn't rule that out at all. That just means that they figured out how to get here with these things and operate them without our knowledge. That's what that says to me.
Mm,
Like why? Why even if this was, let's say, a foreign country, right?
mm.
Someone that's not an ally. What is their purpose for doing this?
I
Like,
don't know.
what would they gain? Because everybody knows. We can see them very clearly. If they were
Like, what are the
really
drones actually doing?
right, like, are they taking pictures? Are they taking video? Are they scanning the layout of the roads to see something?
like,
Like,
what?
what are they doing? Are they?
It's very confusing.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint a most likely reason that they're even there.
Mm,
Like the fact that they're showing up at sunset this time of year, that's 4:30, 5 o'clock. That's when
yeah.
people are going home from work, most likely. They're more likely to see them. Sitting in traffic, they're going to look up at the sky and go, what in the world? Like they're more likely to see it at that time. Yeah. So if they really didn't want people to see this and they're trying to get information of something, they're going to do it when people are less likely to see them. So like say midnight to 4 a.m.
Exactly.
So what are they
doing?
Why are they not caring that people can see them? That's weird to me.
I feel like that's also bad.
Right. So it's just...
Unless we're just completely wrong and they're just...
right?
Friendly. I don't know. Because, like, I've also seen videos of, like, in neighborhoods of New Jersey, like, black SUVs driving through, telling everybody to evacuate this area.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
No.
Oh. I tried finding it, but I couldn't.
And I also saw that the New Jersey senator is asking the New Jersey governor to call a state of emergency in hopes to force these things out of the sky.
Like, what would the state of emergency be? Like, what would...
It would prevent anything from legally being in the airspace. So at that point, it would then make these drones being something that is operating illegally in the airspace.
So then we would be able to shoot it.
Then we would be able to remove them from the sky.
And see what they are.
Right. And then potentially see where they've come from and all of these things.
Why don't we do that? I know that's going to be scary and cause panic across people.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe they're trying to prevent panic and find a different way, but...
If they just come out and say, state of emergency, like, we're just trying to get these drones out of the air.
Yeah.
Maybe people will...
I think the people would understand more than they did during COVID, the state of emergency, because this is something tangible. COVID was something you didn't see until someone was sick.
And, like, it was spreading like
wildfire. Crazy. Right. So this is something tangible. This is something that you could walk out of your house, look up in the sky and go, what in the world?
Yeah.
It's not like COVID was, where people are like, it's just a sickness. Like, whatever, So, I don't know.
It's
definitely strange. And there's also accounts of other senators that are saying that they've seen these things themselves and they've taken videos themselves and they've observed these things for 45 minutes in the sky. So it's not like they're hanging out in the sky for 3 minutes
and just disappearing.
And yes, and
they're just
gone.
There. Yeah.
Correct. And they're just hanging out like they're having a party in the sky. So it's just, I don't know.
It's all weird. I know we keep saying that.
I know. We're going to wear out the phrase. But it's... there's not enough information. And the silence coming from the Pentagon and
officials,
Biden administration, it's wild.
Scary.
It's wild. And actually I saw Trump he's encouraging them to be shot out of the sky. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good way to phrase it for him.
Yeah.
I know he's known for being, an aggressive go-getter, but I don't think telling the American people, like, yeah, go ahead, we should shoot it down. I think that's kind of inviting people to grab their guns and try to shoot it down, which
isn't good.
That is not safe by any means. Not only what goes up must come down. So you're shooting into the sky, right? You're shooting all of this ammunition into the sky. Eventually it comes down. And due to gravity,
it's going to come down a lot faster.
Well, yeah, that bullet is still going to be coming down hard enough to kill someone. That lands on your head, you're toast. As if somebody pointed that bullet at your skull and fired.
It won't even be landing on your head. It'll be going through your head.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to end up in your stomach. Like, it's not something anyone should do.
No.
And then that's for the bullets that miss.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're not officially trained to shoot something like this out of the sky. Don't do it. That's my bottom line. I was not trained for this. don't do it, especially in this situation. Like, there's too many things that could go wrong.
For sure.
I also don't really think that we should sit on it and wait to see what happens. I really think that someone of authority needs to do something.
Yes.
Honestly, if I didn't have children and other obligations, you and I would have spent the weekend in New Jersey this weekend.
Yeah.
Chasing these things. Absolutely. That would be fun.
It would be.
I would have been all over that. But I have other obligations that are more important to me. That would have been amazing.
It would have
Because
been.
New Jersey isn't that far from us.
4 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, like that particular part. Yeah. So I've driven there before. It's not that bad. It's definitely a long drive, but
Yeah.
But to spend the weekend there for that?
That'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely. And I don't know. I don't understand the government's silence.
I don't either. And back in February, I know I sent you this. It's like a podcast episode with Logan Paul and this guy named Dr. Stephen Greer. He's a UFOologist, or retired UFOologist, and a physician. I think that's the word.
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
And he said back in February of this year that, hold on, I need to get it exact. He said they're going to hoax an alien invasion with the group of people who control, just like a secret group of people. That's what he said. And they're going to try and start an interplanetary incident. So the next World War will be interplanet. I don't know how to say
Interplanetary.
It. Yeah, that.
So, you know me. I don't believe anything. So
I just think it's weird that he said that back in February, and now there's something that could potentially be similar to what he said happening now.
So my question is, how on earth could we have a fake interplanetary war?
Well, he said fake an alien hoax, so it would cause an interplanetary war. I don't know how that would happen though.
Right. But if the aliens are a hoax, what other planet are we fighting with?
Pluto.
Right? Like, are we still arguing that Pluto's a dwarf planet or a meteor that got caught in our, like, what are we doing? There's so much about that video you sent to me that doesn't make sense. This guy's throwing big words at people to sound intelligent and scare people and make it seem like he knows something that nobody else knows.
After we talked about it, like, it feels a little sketchy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And also, as soon as he said, "I'm not trying to scare people," but
he literally said probably one of the scariest things he could.
Right. Like, you started off with the question was, what is one of the scariest things that you know?
Dangerous information, I thought he said.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's trying to say that he's not trying to scare people. Like, okay, you're telling us our government is trying to fake us into starting a war.
Why?
That's not scary? You're not trying to scare people?
What? Imagine if this does turn out to be true.
I don't know. I know that his thoughts are coming from facts. Sure. But plenty of people bend facts to make them fit their personal beliefs.
True. So like that video could be chopped up.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Where people like we talked about also, I grew up watching Ancient Aliens. Where they say all the time, I'm not saying it's aliens.
But it's aliens.
Right. So I don't think that this, I don't know. The whole phrase of they're trying to create a hoax about aliens to start an interplanetary war to make World War III. That doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
Like, okay, so we're going to pretend fight people. So who are we attacking? Who is dying? Who are the people that are going to be killing our soldiers that we're sending off into war? And where are we sending them? Are we just going to spend bajillions of dollars to send our military into space to do nothing?
Absolutely. Like
I
it does.
that whole video doesn't make sense to me.
And now that we're talking about it, it
It's
just
making
makes
less
less
sense.
sense.
So it just I don't I don't know. I don't understand that video.
Another video I sent you that doesn't make sense, but is very weird, is in Tennessee there was a bunch of cars just flashing and going off, and like stores and store lights and stuff. Everything was just flickering, and there was multiple videos on it in Tennessee from different POVs, different spots. It's very, very weird.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to bring this back to my good old buddy Elon Musk again. So you also told me that a lot of those lights that were flickering and things were the Teslas. And there are
Yeah,
also lots of
mostly.
videos, right? And there were also lots of videos out there of Teslas malfunctioning. Now, this is a relatively new technology.
For sure. Like I wouldn't say it's like old. Like I know they've been out for a couple of years, but it's not.
Right.
It's new. Like everybody's just starting to get used to it. More and more people are getting them.
Right. And you're seeing them more often. It's not like our cell phones that have been around for 20, 30 years.
Also, people are starting to see more and more flaws.
Right. So with
them being out for years, they're like, oh wait, this can't do this.
Right. And then right. And then after time things degenerate and then things happen. So all of these kinks, if you will, are getting knotted in the hoses.
Yeah.
Like things are going to start going wrong. So with that video you sent me and then saying that there's so many of these Teslas involved, I'm going to say that it's electronical interference. So
especially with them being electric, it's
right, kind of like mini EMPs. So I kind of see that video you sent me and like that particular phenomenon being kind of like a mini EMP being emitted from Teslas, causing electrical interference on things that are around them.
Yeah.
Because who's to say those Teslas that are there are 3-4 years old? They're older models. They're starting to malfunction. That's true. Or maybe a mouse got into one of them and was eating some wires, having a good old snack, and now something's malfunctioning and causing an electrical interference to be emitted from it. Now, I am not.
Well, that's true, but then there's also regular cars that are also doing it.
Right. But a lot of the regular cars now have a lot more electrical processors. So a lot of the vehicles nowadays have electrical start. They have the lights. They're caused by electricity, right? And your battery is constantly plugged into these things. So if you have an electrical pulse that's going through the air, these things are going to be affected. Now, I am not an electrician, 100%. The thought of electricity confuses me. That, we can transmit sound. Still boggles my brain. I don't understand how this works. I've tried to figure it out many times, but I can't wrap my head around it. So I'm going to put that out there as I say these things, but I'm also aware that these things are possible. So I've accepted that I don't understand personally how this works, but I'm also aware that they are possible. So, like, putting a fork in the microwave. You're going to have a light show and then probably break your microwave if you don't get there in time.
You put some uranium in the microwave.
Right. Microwaves have come a long way also, where if you do put metal in the microwave, it doesn't always affect it.
Yeah, like I remember one time I put Nutella in your microwave to melt it, and it started zapping.
because of the metal foil on the top of it.
I didn't even realize.
Yes, but you know what? In that same microwave, I also accidentally put a spoon in it.
Oh.
It did nothing.
Interesting.
So I think it was maybe a hot chocolate I was heating up. And so I left the spoon in the cup. And then I only realized that I did this after I took it out.
That's weird.
So it didn't have a light show.
So
It
it's
didn't
zapping.
no, it didn't make any noise. It didn't break. I'm wondering if because it was in the liquid and like it wasn't just that. I don't know.
Yeah. Was your
Like
hot cocoa electrified?
no, like it was fine. I was mildly concerned and I felt like an idiot. But I was also baffled that it didn't create a light show. It didn't
That is
it
very
didn't go
strange.
wild. So I thought that was really neat. So I definitely think that it is possible that these Teslas are in their ripe old age of 3 or so are beginning to malfunction, or there's just like that one Tesla that was nearby that was making these things happen across
Mm,
other vehicles. So I definitely think that that's possible. I mean, it would be certainly interesting to figure out that this was related to the drone situation that's happening.
mm,
Um, because then maybe that could bring to light a reason that these drones are even here.
mm.
So it's definitely curious and something that we're going to have to keep tabs on.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we don't live in New Jersey,
Me too.
but we are a little uncomfortably close, especially since it seems to be spreading to New York, which is even closer.
Maryland.
Yeah, so it's
Like we're
just,
getting cornered in.
yeah, so like, maybe they'll skip us and just go to Maine.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to see how this unfolds. Hopefully, hopefully we'll have more answers by the time season 2 comes out
Hopefully.
on the
And
28th.
hopefully it will be coming out.
Yes, yes, hopefully the world doesn't end and you never hear from us again. That would be terrible. No, thank you.
Think happy thoughts.
Right? Try again in a few hundred years. No, thank you. um, yeah, I mean, I honestly, I hope that this is just a military,
Hopefully. I really hope it's nothing bad.
our military testing things.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
I feel like this was a pretty good special episode.
yes, and I'm excited to hear thoughts from anybody else.
Yeah.
Um, and definitely sitting on edge to see where it goes.
Thank you for listening. This is Tales Untold.